आ गया। चलो मैं करता हूँ मीटिंग। यार मैं बंद ही कर दूंगा फोन दूसरे रूम में। चलो छोड़ो। हाय दीपक, गुड मॉर्निंग।
Hi, Sahil. Man.
हेलो, हाउ आर यू?
Yeah, fine, bro. How are you?
आई एम गुड टू, आई एम गुड टू। How's everything going?
Yeah, fine. What about you?
Nice. Yeah, it's all going good. Enjoying the weekend. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you stay, Sahil?
Because my job is in Bangalore, but it's work from home. So I am currently in my hometown, which is Jammu. So I'm in my Jammu and
Okay,
Kashmir, Jammu city. Yeah.
okay, okay. Fine,
What about
fine.
you?
Yeah, I stay in Bangalore only.
Nice. Good to know. And what do you work as? Like, are you working as of now?
No, no. As I texted you, like I left my previous job. Okay, I was working as a manual tester.
Got it.
Uh, I want to switch to some other technologies.
Got it. Got it. Good to know. And are you doing any upskilling or have you done any upskilling?
So I purchased that Grow Data Skills DBT.
Got it. Good to know. Good to know. And have you completed that course?
No, no. I like 40% is completed.
Good to know. Good to know. And apart from DBT, any other skill which you have acquired as of now?
Right now, I was trying for AWS also. AWS services. Shashank is there. No? This
Got
tutorial.
it. And what is the profile maybe which you are targeting or thinking of to go with?
So yeah, that's what like I was interested more in DBT only.
Got
So I'm looking for a
got it.
DBT.
Okay. Okay. I'll talk about this. And do you have any other specific questions, or I should just go ahead and tell you what to do, what not to do?
Yeah, one thing is there is like PySpark is required. Just wanted to know.
Noted.
Apache
Noted.
PySpark. Yeah.
Noted. Let me write this. Okay. So I will share my screen and then we can go ahead from here. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me go here. Debug. Okay, perfect. Let me go here. So first question could be Deepak, like what are the profiles which we can target, right? So I'll
Screen is not visible.
oh, is it? Let me share it again. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. So first I'll quickly try to gauge I'll write some keywords there and I'll quickly try to gauge what are the skills which we know currently so that we can go ahead from there. Okay. AWS L0 L1 L2, then maybe Python. I will write PySpark. What else I can write? Maybe GitHub. Okay, let's keep it as of now. Uh, have you ever tried or learned SQL?
Yeah, I tried to learn SQL.
Okay, can you rate yourself maybe level one, level two, or maybe advanced level SQL? By advanced, I mean you can partition the data, you can create indexing, you can even create a data warehouse, those kind of things. So, have you done that?
No, no.
Okay,
Completely beginner to this.
yes, I will write that here. So maybe this is beginner and DBT you are doing. So when you complete that, then you will be able to make it to advanced. So we can think of it as advanced. And what about AWS? Is it currently going on?
Yeah, it's currently going on.
Okay, then you will be reaching to the advanced, which is this when you complete it. Have you worked on Python anytime as of now?
No.
Okay, cool. Uh, Yet to begin. And same thing for PySpark, I'm assuming.
Yes, yes, correct.
Got it. Have
This is
you,
a complete different profile from what I was doing actually.
I, I totally understood. Totally understood. I totally relate it. So as of now, our strong points could be this and AWS, right? Now I will tell you the profiles which we have in the data. Okay, I can either go for analyst, or I'll tell you the skills also required, and then we can go ahead from there. Let this may be analytics engineer. And by the way, is there any particular reason you chose AWS? Like, was there any analysis behind that?
No, just like to learn cloud technology.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So there could be four big domains. Okay, like one could be analyst, one could be engineer, one could be scientist, and then there is this very new niche which has come, which is analytics engineer. Okay. For data analyst, you will need SQL. Okay, and wherever I will write any term, right, I will tell you that for all of these we need to reach to a certain level which is intermediate to advanced. Okay, I'll tell you how do we go there or what are the skills required for that, but first let me map the skill set for you. So for the data analyst, this is the first requirement. Then you will need any one BI tool. BI means you visualize the data, so it's either Tableau or Power BI. Okay, you will need this. Okay, these are the only two skills which you will require. There is also a third skill, Python, which is very less, so maybe I will keep it like this. Okay, data analyst will just use BI tool and SQL to create dashboards. Okay, and they need coding very less. If you like to talk, if you like to create, if you have some creativity, then you will need to go for this, because in this there is no coding, there is bare minimum coding. Okay, more communication, because you will need to sit with client, understand the dashboard requirements and everything, and maybe more creativity, because you will need to create dashboards, create aesthetics. If I talk about data engineer, so maybe I will do one thing. I will keep it here. Can you do you have any rough idea what the skills are which are required for the data engineer? Or
Yeah,
okay,
building pipelines,
correct.
SQL, Apache
Mhm.
Spark, some big tech
Correct,
stack.
correct. So you will need SQL to write the scripts. You will need Python. You will need PySpark. You will need GitHub. You will need AWS. Uh, of very small amount as of now. DBT, the market of DBT is small, but obviously if it's ELT paradigm, then you will need the DBT as well. Okay,
Okay.
this is the skills which you will need for the data engineer. Okay, so you go for data engineer basically when you like code, when you like to code.
Okay.
Okay, they
So
work.
data structures and all is required for this.
No, it's not work in background. So when I talk about code here, if I talk about Python for example, there are two things. One is data structures, maybe then uh, creating applications. That is not required. The thing which is required is maybe I'll go here. There are very specific libraries which you need to know. One is pandas. Why is it in this color? One is numpy. One is, I would say, maybe matplotlib. Then all the other profiling libs. Then maybe PySpark if you are learning. PySpark is another base in itself, but you don't need to create applications. You have to just play with data, manipulate data, transform data. Transforming data is the only thing which you require Python for, so that all the data structure is not required, but these are the things which you will need.
Okay.
Python pandas is the most biggest requirement, and PySpark is just like you can see the pie here. That PySpark is used basically if you have a huge amount of data, then pandas lag there, and then that's why you need PySpark. But everything everywhere you will just need it for the transformation of the data.
Okay.
uh, data scientist, you will not need anything of this. Yes, SQL you will require. So if I have to tag you these skills as well, I will tell you identify also which could work for you. Okay, so maybe if I have this, I can keep it here. I can keep it like this. You will need SQL and you will need Python. You will not need this. You will need maybe GitHub. The reason I'm focusing on GitHub is because you have to write a lot of technical jargon in your resumes. This is where this version control thing helps us. Okay. There is an additional thing which is statistics. You need a lot of statistics in ML, and you need to know. Okay, let me write it here only. Python, because data scientists create models and basically all the scikit and everything. Okay, so all these libraries you will require. There's a new niche which I have written on the last, which is analytics engineer. Okay, the demand for analytics engineer as of now is very less. Within upcoming 2 to 3 years, yes, the demand will increase, but I always recommend students to not go for this as of now. It's good to keep it in the plate, but never go for it right now because demand is very, very small here. The
But
requirement,
will grow in future.
yes, correct. Within 2 to 3 years, then you will like see a lot of things. Requirements are SQL, requirements are DBT, requirements are cloud. You don't need this, you need PySpark. And there's additional tools which are targeting specifically analytics engineers, which is one is Microsoft Fabric. This is a new vertical which is launched by Microsoft, and Databricks is also somehow targeting this. By the way, when I was writing data engineer, so give me a second. Yeah, okay. So when we were writing data engineer, you need warehousing techniques as well. Right? Do you know what is warehousing?
Yeah, yeah, warehouse.
Okay. These
Snowflake.
are, you are right. You are right. Snowflake is a very good example of a warehouse. This is a skill map for each profile which you will need to learn. Uh, by knowing just SQL and DBT, I would say you will still need to learn a lot of things, right? Your DBT could be a supplementary skill. DBT should never be your main complementary skill. Okay,
Okay.
because the market as of now is very niche.
Okay.
The AWS is a very good skill to have, but you need to have at least one core skill. What are the core skills for the data analyst? The core skill is creating dashboards, which is Power BI or BI tools, Power BI dashboard. For the data engineers, it is PySpark or Python. For the data scientists, it is again Scikit or maybe Python. Okay, at least one of this core skill is required to crack anything. So you need one core skill plus supplementary knowledge. Okay, this you need to work on. Could be either PySpark and Python. Maybe before learning PySpark, you should always learn Python. So if you want to go through data engineering role, this should be your core skill. If you are targeting data analyst role, your Power BI or Tableau should be core skill. If you are targeting data science, I think you should not be, because the skills which you're acquiring as of now will not be very useful in that perspective. But still, we can write it as a skill map that data scientist you will need PySpark, Scikit, and everything. And for data engineering, you will also need SQL as a core skill. Okay, so these are the core skills. If you see, SQL is present in two of them. That's why people recommend to learn SQL a lot. If you're working in any data profile, SQL is the first thing you should learn. Okay, the thing which you have acquired as of now, these are supplementary skills. Okay, you will still need the supplementary skills, but your interview will be corely depending, 80% of the interview will be depending on the core skill only, not the supplementary one. Cloud, maybe all the other things which I have written here, these will be required, but these are supplementary. Like in your life also, in your work also, even in the AWS, you will be working, I would say, if you go as a AWS developer also, right? Those guys are also working 70 to 80 times, not in the AWS console. They are maybe writing SQL script for the pipelines, or they are maybe trying to use AWS with the help of code only. There are tools called Ansible, infrastructure as a code, those kind of things. Okay, so always keep supplementary skills in your bucket, but have one core skill. Now, if I talk about which jobs are easy to crack, data analysis is easy to crack. Then comes data engineering. Then comes data science. I will keep analytics engineer in the last because again the market is very less. So scope to get jobs. If I talk about maybe difficulty level for beginners, then give me a sec. Data analyst is easiest, then comes analytics engineer, then comes data engineer, then comes data science. Okay, these are the two big factors which someone has to consider when they are appearing for or preparing for any job profile.
Okay.
When it comes to job, becoming data analyst is easiest option. When it comes to difficulty, data engineering is the difficult option. So you will see that there is a reason all the folks who are new in the industry, they target data analyst profile, because
Okay.
cracking analyst is easy, but still you should see this, that if you don't like coding and if you like more communication and you like to work with dashboard, then only you should go for it, right? It doesn't mean that something is easy in the world then I should go for it.
Okay. Mhm.
If you like code, then again I can write it here. Then the skill gap will be, you will become data science is the doing maximum coding, then data engineering, analytics engineer, and data scientist, data analyst. Okay, now I'll ask you questions one by one here. uh, Among this, do you like to code or not, by the way?
I think I have not done coding maximum, so I will not go for coding.
Got it. Have you worked on any BI tool as of now? I will assume no.
No.
Okay, got it. My suggestion to you would be at least for 1 month. Okay, a person can only decide if he's good at something if he has tried that for some specific time.
Correct.
I will tell you, at least for 1 month, learn all, try to learn. Don't go into depth. Try to work with all these core skills. For
Python.
data engineering, which is Python. For data analyst, which is Power BI or Tableau. For data scientist, it's PySpark. Okay, wait. This is wrong. This is not PySpark. This is Python only. Okay. I will recommend you play with all these skill set. You will realize which one are you liking. Okay. After 1 month, sit back and see which profile do you think could be easy for you, or which profile you could be passionate for. You already know where you will get the job. Jobs are everywhere, by the way. It's not that okay, if I become, maybe here I have written analytics engineer is difficult to get, but you won't get the jobs for that. Jobs are present everywhere. It just depends on the skill set. You just need to do the grind and the hustle, you will get the job. But first you have to sit down, you have to take pen and paper. You need to know your core strengths. How do you know core strength? You pick the core skill of all the profiles.
Okay. Power BI, Python.
Pick all of these, play with them one by one. 1 month could be your POC period where you are just playing with everything which exists in the all the three profiles. And then once you are done with this analysis, that okay, this is what I'm liking, I'll go here. Then for each profile, here as of now, I have written some skills. We can double tap on this and go more in depth. in each of the skill set, right? If I go here, so maybe skills, all the skills have certain levels of uh, maybe expertise. If I talk about SQL, right, because you already know SQL, so I'll talk about that only. Maybe give me a second. There is beginner. Mm, this I should zoom it. What about you? Otherwise, there is intermediate. There is advanced. Okay. On each skill, you need to know these three levels. If you don't know these levels, you will not be able to rate yourself where you stand right now.
Okay.
Okay. In again, I can go for each and every vertical as of now also, but for example, the beginner level in SQL could be, for example, you can select the queries, you can query your data, you can filter your data, you can maybe aggregate your data. Okay, filter mean you can apply where condition, aggregate mean you can
Good.
apply group by, query means you are writing select statement, maybe some sub queries you are writing. This is sub queries, CTs. Okay, this is the knowledge which, if a person watch a 1 hour SQL video, he will be able to answer these. In interviews, this is not asked. This you are supposed to know by default. Okay? In all the tools, there is some beginner level things which you are not, which you will not be asked, but you need to know because this is how you start learning some skill. Then there will come the intermediate skills, which is maybe you can partition your data, maybe uh, you can mm, write complex queries, you can convert problem statements to SQLs. Maybe you can, what else can we consider intermediate? Let me think. Maybe you can rank your data. There are multiple rank functions. So rank functions, you can know coalesces, you can clean your data. All of these things are intermediate skills. Whenever you are learning or appearing for any interview or you are preparing for something, you need to know at least intermediate
Intermediate.
level. This is the bare minimum you can do. If you are not prepared at this level for any skill, don't interview prepare for interview, and don't, you will not even be able to write that skill in your resumes. Okay, so you need at least this, and then comes the advanced level, which I recommend everyone that don't be just the other average person. If you're learning something, go to this level. This level could be, you can maybe do the performance optimizations, right? Optimization, you can almost do anything. You can see the queries and tell which query is fast, which query is planned. So maybe query planning. You can do DDL also. DDL means you are not just querying the data, you are just creating your own data, you are creating warehouses also. Maybe you are server management also, you have done servers management, tuning. We can write more things here. You can index your data, and it goes on, right? This is the level which you should target for each and every skill. If you know this, then clearing interviews is very easy because all the questions come from this part only. Okay. In SQL, I assume you will be at a beginner to somewhat intermediate level, but this again, I just wrote it right now, but this list will go on and on. For each skill, you will need to have one, take one pen and paper, have one page for each and every skill, write what is beginner, what is intermediate, what is advanced. Easiest way to get this gap knowledge is if I just download any SQL book also from internet, maybe just write SQL book, PDF, something. They will give you a book. You don't need to read that book. Just read the first page, which is the index or syllabus page. That syllabus page is a Bible for you. You know what exists in SQL. Just divide that because even in the books, maybe let's do this practice, right? So that you will not need to. go to anyone to be dependent on anything. So maybe SQL book, file type, PDF. So maybe this is the one. I don't worry about content. I just need the, yes, this is by the way one of the most popular book. So this is the sequel. Okay. I know what I need to learn. So I will copy. Okay, this is not copyable, but no worries. This is the entire syllabus or things I need to know. If I can crack all this, then I am already an expert. There are 15 sections. Divide the 15 into 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 15. First 5 are beginners. Even if I show you the syllabus here, that's how book is currently, every book is structured also. See here, what is SQL, creating data types, creating tables, creating queries, giving alias. These are beginner level knowledge, right? If I show you the last section, see here, transaction, you're locking the databases, multi-user, handling the scale of the users, working with the metadata. These are advanced. Always get any book, get its index page, get the syllabus, print it, tag it. Is it beginner? Is it intermediate? Is it advanced? Then focus on the till the advanced level. Okay, this is slight hustle, but I will suggest you to go till the advanced level. This exercise you should do for each and every skill which we have written here. Okay, you don't need to be dependent on anyone. This is the same activity you will need to do to learn almost everything, and you will rate yourself, you will divide yourself. I will say, since when a person is preparing for jobs, he has to work on multiple skills. So what you should do is, again, first option is obviously you need to print this index and print this syllabus and divide it into beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Then let's say you are picking SQL. If you think you have done the advanced intermediate level, then you need to divide your hard work or divide your time. Maybe 20% of your time you will do to go to this level, then 80% of the time you will need to pick the other skill could be Python, and start its basic and intermediate level. Okay, because you don't need to learn just one skill, you need to learn multiple skills, right? One is complementary, one is supplementary, right? So pick one skill, go to it intermediate, then once you think intermediate is done, I told you subjectively also how we will be knowing that intermediate is done, because if in syllabus you are done with 10 sections, you are done with the intermediate stuff. Pick other skill, start working till it's intermediate, and the 20% time you can give to go to its advanced level as well. Okay, so this is some kind of multitasking or concurrency which you will need to build up. So even if you don't know advanced level, it is okay to learn different skill, because you are short of time, we all are short of time. That's why I told you, whenever you're done with the intermediate, go to the other skill, pick the other skill also. Okay, this will help you to upskill in the multiple skills at the same time. But before this, I will suggest you to do this, which is knowing which is your core strength.
Okay.
Okay, SQL I will recommend. Even if I have to be very practical here, SQL is used by data scientists also. So no matter which profile you pick, even managers have to learn SQL. Even the guys who are coming from have to learn SQL, because they have to query the data. So no matter which profile you're going for, SQL is the bread and butter. You need to know SQL. Python we can skip if you're going for maybe analyst or some those profiles, because analyst is mostly a non-tech profile. There you can safely avoid or stop learning it. But again, even if I talk about, so you need to know almost everything. I will tell you why. Even if I'm working as a data analyst, there are two people working in a company. Maybe this is the first person, this is the second person. This person's know Python, though it's not required as core skill set. This person do not know Python. The chances of this person getting promotion is very fast, because whenever there will be requirement, this person will be getting the requirement. Manager will already know that this person know Python. This will person who doesn't know Python will need to be dependent on this person. So it's not that okay, skill is not required, so maybe should I learn it or not. Ideally you should do it if it comes in this skill map. But again, first step is learning the core, because you have to build your core strong. Once you know these skills, once you have decided the profile, once you know, maybe intermediate level skills. Then comes the part of showing world or maybe creating a resume that guys, I have learned my stuff. Now I'm prepared for the job. This is my resume. Let's go ahead from here. Then comes the start of arc of creating jobs and applying for jobs, right? So you will need to respect the hierarchy here. Hierarchy is first upskill. Maybe I will zoom it. Then you will need to show and tell. Then it's apply for job. Okay, you will never go from this. Show and tell means you have to prepare your resume, you have to prepare your portfolio. So portfolio, resume. Never go directly from stage 2, that start creating resume today only. Won't work. People do the mistake of step 3, which is they start applying for jobs right now. Won't work. Respect the hierarchy. First you have to upskill, then you have to prepare your resumes, and then you have to go for the profiles. I will suggest spend at least maybe if not 1 month, spend at least 15 days to pick the core skill. Then I'll say spend 2 to 3 months. Okay, bare minimum. 2 to 3 months are more than enough to go for these skills at a intermediate level. Spend 2 to 3 months to upskill, and then December, January, February, right? In the March, yes. Ideally, you should create timelines for you. By the March, you should be able to have. Okay, let me write it more effectively. This is November, right? So November end tak you should be know what do you want to become. This activity you can do in 15 days. So play with all of these things. Again, by playing I mean if you need to play with Python, simply go to YouTube, search what is Python, see what other people are writing, start writing that code. Maybe keep watching videos. Free content is a lot of free content available in the market. You don't even need to pay anyone. Start watching the playlist. By November end, I think you have more than, okay, you have slightly less than 15 days, but November and December end tak, I'll say November and or December end tak, play with the tools. Maybe in Tableau also download it. There is no shortcut. You'll need to download the tool and start playing with it. That should be the first thing. Then December, January, February, and March. So Feb or March, you should be upskilled. Again, this can be fast tracked also if you are spending more time. So just setting some very lightly timeline. So upskilling completed, and then by March you will start applying for jobs. Okay, this by any terms doesn't mean you have to stick with these timelines, but I have seen people get overwhelmed or they fell in a trap of tutorial hell. What is tutorial hell? Tutorial hell is you will keep learning only. You will
Yeah,
not
correct.
you will not decide your timelines. You will keep upskilling, and there is no limit to upskilling. You can upskill for 5 years also, but that's not the goal. Have some goal. Here I have written Feb March. You can write the goal as this January, mid or February also, but keep this timeline strict to you so that you know when you have to stop. There is no limit when you what you can upskill for. People fall in this trap a lot. They keep on purchasing bootcamps. They keep on acquiring new skills, but that's not the goal. The goal is getting a job. The goal is not to learn everything which exists in the world.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so this is what you will need to do. Like keep exploring. As of now you need to know be in the exploring phase. Then you will pick one niche. You will go double tap on that niche. There are roadmaps for almost everything nowadays. I suggest all my students that in today's day and age era you don't need to be dependent on anyone. You could be your own mentor. You just need to do the hustle, right? If for example tomorrow I am choosing that okay, I'm going to become data engineer, for example, roadmap for data engineer. See here, I will, even if I play or see these 4 5 roadmaps, I should be mota able to understand what I need to learn. Okay, These roadmaps are present everywhere. Have you heard about ChatGPT?
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Right? Nowadays, it's very easy to learn something or to know what to learn. Right? First, so you have to know what to learn, right? If you choose something, then if, for example, here you will see, okay, maybe I need to learn PySpark. I already told you what you have to do to learn any skill. But first is download a book, see the syllabus, divide it into beginner, intermediate, advanced, then start working on it. You should not be dependent on any third party person. Okay, maybe PySpark I can give you. Maybe download some book of PySpark, file type PDF. So, for example, this is one PySpark book. I will go here. This is the syllabus. How many content is there? We have 27, 20, maybe 25, right? So again, just do that. 27 का हो जाएगा. 9 is right. So 999. 9 is 9 modules are for beginner, 9 modules are for intermediate. So 18th. This is where again this book is very, I would say, advanced level book. You don't even need to go to this level, but still at least 8 is bare minimum. Then 10 to 15 is what you have to do. Okay. So you are not dependent on anyone to tell you what to learn. You're not dependent on anyone to tell you how to learn also. Okay. But it is always important to have someone looking on you from the top big picture angle, because what I have observed is, if I tell you that, hey, this is your timelines plan, you will just think very in a straight line that, okay, I'm learning Spark SQL today, so I'll keep learning SQL today. People lose the big picture here. Big picture is getting a job. Right? So if you are stuck anytime, anywhere, you need someone to pull you from there and tell you what is the alternative. Because if someone has already traced or followed the path which you're going currently, that becomes easy. So it's always good to have someone who knows you, who is looking at you at a bigger picture level. That, okay, maybe we are trying this, we are trying that, but never be dependent on anyone, right? Because I told you, in today's day and age, you don't need to be, right? So this you can keep as overall big picture target to decide what to become, when to become. And even in this, right, even if I write salaries, okay, salary should not be the end goal here, but in terms of salaries, again, if you are skilled enough, you are paid almost equivalent or high top notch. You have just to be in the top 10% of whatever you're becoming. Uh, but generally, data scientists are paid more, because if you see here, difficulty level is highest there. Data analysts are paid less, by less, I don't mean monetary less. I'm comparing the top 10% of data analysts with the top 10% of data scientists. Okay. And what is less here? If you have 3 to 4 years, 4 years of experience minimum, even I'm saying data analyst is less, you can still make 30 lakh to 40 lakh. The reason I'm telling you, because I'm in the same bracket. I have 4 years of experience, and you can easily, not easily, but if you're in 10% or 1% of the pool, you can make 30 to L. Now, if it's less or more, then it depends on the person. But this is the skill set, or this is the salary gaps which you can expect. This is obviously more in data scientists, they can make a lot more, but again, depends on the core strength. If you are just, you should never go just for salaries. If you are not liking the work of data scientists and you have become data scientist just for the sake of money, then within few years also you will get the fatigue and you will realize this is not the path for me. So these are the four parameters, like scope of getting jobs, difficulty level, code, and salary. Now it's on you. Before seeing this also, pick the skill and then start doing the math here. Like, start picking the skills and then doing the hard work here.
So one more thing, like just as I'm completing this DBT tutorial,
Mhm.
so what next after completing that complete tutorial
Correct.
projects and all? Yeah.
Correct. After that, you will need to pause. Okay. First, you need to know what do you want to become. Because if you wanted to become data engineer, then so these are the core skills, right? In the 1 month, you will just see what do you want to become, or in 15 days. Then if you have chosen something, then you will need to double tap on this, the core skill. I can suggest you PySpark, but if you're going for data engineering, then only I can suggest you. You can go for Power BI or Tableau, but if you want to become data engine analyst, then only I will suggest you. Same thing for data scientist. I can suggest you NLP and those kind of Python and Scikit, but it depends on this big question. What do
I
you
think one thing is clear, like I would not be going for coding as of now.
got it? Got it. If you
Let's
don't
rule
want
on
to go
this
for code,
data side.
again, I will still recommend you that the notion which you will have of coding, right? As of now, code of data engineers and data, maybe everyone who is doing coding in data environment is very different. You will not need
Okay.
to write any for loops. You will not need to write any solve any problem statements. It's very
Okay.
repetitive, same stuff which you will do. So if you learn pandas, there are very limited set of transformation to group by something, maybe to clean the data. If you learn that command one time, right, you will do that same command in your entire career. So also for coding, I will suggest you to have some exploration of pandas and this numpy and matplotlib, because coding for a data engineers is way simpler than what we do as software engineers.
Got it. Okay. That
Even
difference.
yeah, even if you don't want to do it, I will hugely recommend you that have some spend some time with the code which data engineers or Python which we do as a data profile professionals, which is pandas, mostly pandas, and uh, PySpark if you are going there. So I will not recommend you anything right now because I need to know which of these things you need to target. For this thing, you will need to spend at least 15, 20, or maybe if you can fast track that also, you can do that. So if you have this answer, then we can double tap. But again, you do have the core skills written in top in front of you. So then if you pick anyone, you know what to learn next. SQL is important in everything. So I will suggest you should learn it right away, because no matter what you become, this is not dependent on profile. So SQL should be your next target. I will recommend. Okay. Any question here?
No, I think I got it, like what I wanted to know.
Nice, nice. So just be clear. Just have a play with all these core skills. This should be the most important section for you. Do you know the core skills? You just play with them. Once you know them, you know what to learn next. This is the first thing you will need to do, and then the second will be this, like picking any one skill set. These can go in parallel because SQL is required everywhere. So you also know SQL till beginner level, just go to the intermediate level and you should be good to go. But what next big thing to learn, which is written here? Cloud is important. I will say AWS is important, GitHub is important, but these are supplementary skills. Okay, no one will ask you that I'm hiring you to just do GitHub, or I'm hiring you to just do AWS. That barely happens. If you hired for a data engineer role, that is where a cloud professionals are used. You will be required to write code in Python or PySpark. Okay, being very frank here. So cloud can't be your core skill. It could be your core skill if you are becoming maybe DevOps engineer, those kind of profiles. Because DevOps engineer, yes, they do spend a lot of time in here because this is their profile. But it's within the skills which I have written here. Cloud can't be your core
Skill.
skill, and DBT can't be your core skill. Okay, core skill will always be either SQL or Python slash PySpark or Tableau slash Power BI. Okay, so this is the main thing. Currently the skill which you are working on, they are obviously very good to have. DBT, no one, I will say even the 10% of the developers do not know as of now because it's very new. Same thing for AWS, though I would say the same thing for AWS, but again, you need to first have the backbone. The backbone is the same core skill which I told you. Okay, maybe I will send you the same screen which I was showing you right now so that you have something for the backup. But from here, pick the core skill. Okay, if you would have reached out to me before picking any boot camp, I would have recommended you to bring the core skill first.
I should have discussed one-on-one long back with you, but okay.
It never matters. Again, we can't go in the past, we can't change anything, so it should not be a worry for us, right? Whatever we are doing right now, you are learning. You're not wasting your time, right? You just need to prioritize things, because prioritization is what it will help you to again, the end goal is not to upskill, end goal is to get a job. For that we need very laser focused clear vision, what to learn, what not to learn, and which order do I have to learn, so that I can start applying for jobs quickly, right? So first is this, and then you are already working on the supplementary skills, and which is more than enough. Once you have this entire knowledge, then we can go ahead and we can start working on creating resumes and everything. And I told you, like, don't underestimate ChatGPT. You can do almost anything, right?
Got
So
it.
these are the key pointers which I will ask you to keep handy. Maybe have a notebook, have these written somewhere, have the timelines written somewhere. Don't fall into the hell of tutorial trap or bootcamp trap. Even though I sell bootcamps, I do not recommend anyone to do all my bootcamps, because it makes sense, right? Like, I, you don't need to upskill, learn almost everything which exists in the world, right? So have this vision board clear. I will send you the screenshots or the screen grabs or whatever I was showing you. Then based on that, do the hustle, do the grind, be your own mentor. No one can do the hard work in your uh, like, you will yourself need to do the hard work. There is no shortcut. Once you have upskill, then there is no limit. Clearly, I'll maybe we'll sit maybe sometime and tell you, once you have the skills, there is no limit. Even in the upskilling, even in the freelancing, even in the jobs, there is no limit. Actually, there is no limit. Okay, but we have to respect this hierarchy of first upskilling, then creating resumes, and then applying the jobs.
One more thing, like Streamlit you mentioned in this DBT camp, right?
Yes.
So that is completely on Python, or it is something web-based, or can be
Streamlit,
done either?
I'll tell you. Give me a second. Streamlit also will come in a supplementary skill. It is a very important skill to have. You can create applications very easily with the help of Streamlit. Okay. Streamlit is a Python library. It's open source. It's a Python based library. This is how Streamlit looks like. If I show you one quick example, can you see my screen? Deepak, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, maybe I will go here. Bash. Okay, I'm at desktop. Streamlit run. So dot py.
So this is all Python coding, right?
Yes. So Streamlit is a Python library which will help you to write less code to do more stuff. For example, this is one of the application slash SaaS product which I'm building currently, which is like, it will help you to write SQL queries on top of your Excels. So for example, if you have this Excel file, right, by default, if you want to play with Excels, you will need to open this Excel in Microsoft Excel. And the problem of Excel is, if you need to do some VLOOKUPs and some transformation, it's very difficult in Excel. So I was writing this application where you can write the SQL statement top of Excel only, which is not available, exist currently in the market. So to do this kind of stuff, right, to do POCs, to create some, to convert your ideas into products, this is where Streamlit comes into the picture. Because if I have to create, for example, if I show you the code and the product side by side, if for example in my application I wanted to create this big sidebar, right? This gray bars, it is a sidebar. It has this functionality. If I would have to create this by software development, I will need at least 4 days to write big code, maybe define the color, define the width. But if it's Streamlit, say this, just 4 lines. I gave the options, I gave the icons, and that's it. So this is where the Streamlit comes. Like, it makes the software development easy for data professionals, so that if they have some ideas or some POCs, they can quickly build it. They don't need to be dependent on software engineering, HTML, CSS, JavaScript for that. If this is the feature, like upload files, right? If I have to build this in software development application, it will take me 4 to 5 hours to build this. But if I show you the Streamlit way, so st dot upload file. Huh. In Streamlit, I just write st.sidebar.file uploader. That's it. It's one line code to get a user upload their CSV and Excel. If I have to write this in maybe some, if you are working with Python, then you can work with Flask or those kind of framework. But the amount of code which you will need to write in there is huge. You will need to write 40, 50 lines of code, but in Streamlit, it's just one line of code.
So for this also Python is required or just only Streamlit?
Python is
Uh,
required because this code, even though I'm calling Streamlit functions, but I'm writing it in Python. So Streamlit is a Python library. Okay.
okay.
If I was showing you this, Deepak, so when I was explaining you this, right, that in Python you just need libraries. So Python, all these things are my libraries in Python. So this pandas is one library, NumPy is two library, matplotlib is other library. All these things are called libraries. This PySpark is also library. This profiling libraries are also libraries. So Streamlit could come here and that will be like fifth of the library. So in Python, we have to just learn the libraries which exist.
So in-depth Python coding is not needed.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Okay. So this is where the Streamlit comes. Like it helps you to convert your ideas into application which you can show to the world. Are you
Okay.
connected? Are you connected with me on LinkedIn?
Yes, I have connected with you.
Perfect. So yeah, I mean, I keep on posting. I'll post some examples of Streamlit also in the future. So just be connected so that if you have some want to see some live examples, I keep on posting that. Okay, you can build this, you can build that. So it will be handy. Okay. Any other question, Deepak?
No, sir, as of now, nothing.
Okay.
And one more thing, if anything we want to connect with you or discuss with you again, then how to connect with you?
Deepak, maybe post on like DM me on LinkedIn only. Okay. One FYI is I might not be available some of the time, but whenever I will see your question, so I'll answer that. So LinkedIn could be a good platform for that.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Cool, cool. All right, man. Thanks. I'll say thanks for your time. It means a lot. So
Yeah.
I hope you got something from this session.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, enjoy the day.
And I think recording will be provided, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one.
Oh, you have to you have chosen that option, right?
Yes, yes, I have chosen that option.
Perfect. Then the recording will. I thought you are not chosen the recording, and I need to show the screen there. But yeah, then though you will get everything. You will get the screen recording only. It might take some time, maybe half an hour or so, but you will get the recording.
Okay,
Right. Thank
got
you.
it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.